Hi, I'm Luke Kratzer, and welcome to another episode of 5-Minute Reviews. In our last episode, we managed to go on episode 1 of The Falcon the Winter Soldier. So today's episode will be following up on episode 2. Let's start the timer, shall we? So the story starts off with an introduction of the new Captain America, aka John Walker. And as I predicted in the last episode, Walker is an ordinary dude. He doesn't have any powers, he's just a skilled soldier. Anyway, Walker introduces himself as the new Captain America, and Bucky sees it, and he is pissed. And I mean pissed. He looks like he wants to punch someone in the face. And he almost does, because he goes to Sam, and he tries to give him the business. Sam doesn't have any time for that. You see, Sam is chasing a lead on the Flag Smashers, and claiming that they are part of the Big Three. And by the Big Three, I'm referring to androids, aliens, and wizards. Now, they did have an argument about the fact that there's no such thing as wizards, and that Doctor Strange technically is not a wizard, but still, basically, a sorcerer is a wizard without a hat. Just saying. Bucky decides to come along to try to help him take them down, and they end up doing that scene in the plane that we saw in the trailer, where Bucky's all, so what's the plan? So no plan? Yeah, and all that jazz. So Sam and Bucky jump out of the plane to find the bad guys, and Bucky ends up falling on the floor, and it is hilarious. The two try to sneak into that secret lair where the bad guys are, and while trying to pursue them, they get their butts whooped, because, again, super soldiers. And then, out of the blue, we have Captain Knockoff showing up, trying to save the day. However, again, he's just a human. And I mean literally, he does not have superpowers. He gets his butt handed to him also. After the battle happened, Captain Walker is actually trying to have Sam and Bucky try to work for them. Try to help him out as Captain America himself. And Sam and Bucky, they obviously say no. They're all like, "You're not Captain America, get away from us." And they're basically going to follow the lead themselves, which I'm okay with. I understand why they're like that. Fast forward, when the Flag Smashers kick Sam and Bucky's butts, they end up going to some random guy's house, which is madly in love with the group. Anyway, they end up letting them stay at this crap hole house. Not going to judge, but it's still a little freaky, and it was still a little, well, it was gross. They started having a meeting, start discussing their next bad guy plan, and while that's happening, we did get sign that someone was actually looking for these guys, that they were trying to take them down and trying to kill them. I don't know who they are, but they are definitely not Sam and Bucky. Back to Bucky and Sam, they are now trying to find another lead to the super soldiers, or the Flag Smashers. And they end up going, and to do that, they ended up going to some ghetto neighborhood where they were going to find this guy named Isaiah. Now, it turns out Isaiah is also a super soldier. He was actually a super soldier during the time when Steve started out as a super soldier. Bucky tries to ask him to help him out on this situation, but well, Isaiah refuses because he's a cranky old man. And there's obviously some other stuff going on. Then, out of the blue, Bucky gets arrested because he skipped therapy. Yeah, we're straight to Bucky going to jail again. So the two go to jail, but luckily they're not going to stay in there long because Captain Walker shows up again out of the blue. How the frick does he keep finding this guy? Oh yeah, I forgot they have a tracker on the Falcon. Anyway, we then have the counseling session between Sam and Bucky and the therapist, which we all saw in the trailer, and let me tell you, it was just as awkward as it was in the trailer, if not even more awkward. They basically ended up bringing their knees and thighs so close that I thought, oh shoot, are they gonna make out now? It was entirely awkward, but it was incredibly funny, if not the funniest thing that came from that entire episode. Fast forward a little bit, we are now back to the Flag Smashers, trying to do, again, they're doing the bad guy thing, they're trying to get on a plane, escaping some whatever they're escaping, and they almost did get captured by a group of guys. We don't really know who they are, however, we do know that they are bad, or at the very least, they are most likely working for Zemo. At least that was my theory. We're now back to Sam and Bucky leaving the prison, and then they see Captain Walker again. He gives them one more chance to make him join them on his team. Again, they refuse, but then Walker says something that I thought was a little off color. He then says, "Stay the heck out of my way." I don't know about you, but that kind of makes me think that he's going to end up being a bad guy later on in the series. That's just my theory on the entire thing. Anyway, after Sam and Bucky have that entire situation, they do end up discussing any other leads for the super soldiers. And then they ended up coming up with the one guy that they never want to see ever again. And it was the man himself, Baron Zemo. And then we go to a prison where Zemo is being kept looking sinister as ever. Okay, time's up. Now time for just a few final thoughts. So far, I actually enjoyed a lot about this episode. I thought it was filled with good comedic timings. I thought it was filled with good comedic chemistry. I thought it was filled with great action scenes. And I thought it was filled with a lot of great characters. I really did like that new Captain America. No one can replace Steve, but he was a very good close second. Overall, I'm enjoying this series thus far. My only issue is just in this episode, and that was when Sam and Bucky were arguing in the middle of the street and the cop pulled up. It kind of got a little political and a little controversial, but it wasn't that bad regardless. I just don't like it when we sometimes put controversial and political stuff in movies that are nothing about it at all whatsoever. As for everything else, I did enjoy this episode regardless, and I can tell that a lot of people would enjoy it too. Well guys, that is all the time I have for you today. If you did enjoy this video, please give me a big thumbs up, and while you're at it, go subscribe so you can support my channel. And be sure to stay tuned for next week, because that was when I'm going to be doing episode 3, and, well, I just can't wait to do it. Anyway, I am Luke Kratzer, and thank you for joining me on 5 Minute Reviews. Peace out, guys.